Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take complex information, stack it all up, and really pull out the key insights for you. Today, we are definitely plunging into something fascinating and, wow, incredibly timely. It's a legal and political, well, firestorm centered around former President Donald Trump. Yeah, we've been looking through quite a bit recent news reports, legal filings, some internal docs, specifically excerpts we have from Trump.txt. Just trying to understand all the different layers here. Our mission really is to connect the dots. You've got this high-profile defamation suit, an ongoing federal investigation, and, the ever-present role of media and politics. We'll look at the claims, the context around them, and what it all means for, well, how information gets to you and how maybe you perceive it. It's definitely a story right at that intersection: law, media, high-stakes politics, and I think it promises some surprising facts, moments that really make you think. Let's get started. Okay, so let's unpack this first piece. The core of our deep dive today is former President Trump's pretty significant defamation lawsuit. He's going after the Wall Street Journal and its parent company, News Corp, which is, of course, led by Rupert Murdoch. And the heart of the claim, the lawsuit, stems from recent reporting that Trump says falsely implies, well, a deeper connection between him and Jeffrey Epstein than what's really known or been proven.
Right. And what's quite interesting here is how specific the legal team is being. They're alleging the journal published, and I quote, reckless, defamatory, and malicious content. This reporting apparently alluded to interactions between Trump and Epstein that maybe weren't previously reported or perhaps weren't verified. It even seemed to imply, according to the suit, that Trump might have been, more involved in Epstein's circle or activities than he's ever said. And the fact they named both the paper and Rupert Murdoch directly, well, Trump's side says this shows it's not just about reputation. They're arguing it's politically motivated, part of an agenda, they claim, to hurt his 2024 campaign and sort of damage his legacy overall.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Adds another layer: the timing. Because as this lawsuit is moving forward, the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ, is, at the same time, looking to get grand jury records released. Records related to Epstein's past investigations.
Yeah. And if you connect those dots, I mean, legal experts are certainly looking at this timing. They're speculating, could these records have new evidence, maybe names of other high-profile people, or even more testimony from victims we haven't heard about. And Trump's legal team, well, they immediately flagged this. They've raised alarms. They're sort of suggesting or hinting that maybe the journal's reporting drew on leaked stuff or, speculation tied to these sealed proceedings. Now, that's unconfirmed, obviously. But they see the DOJ's move as possibly part of some coordinated effort, perhaps, to link Trump to Epstein narratives, even if there's no direct proof of wrongdoing. That timing, whether it's intentional or just coincidence, it definitely ramps up the political feel of it all.
That idea of coordination, wow, it really does make you wonder about the bigger picture, doesn't it? Now, to really get the weight of this current suit, we probably need to look back a bit. This isn't Trump's first legal fight over media stuff. His past cases kind of set a precedent, or at least give us a hint of what might happen. Like, remember in 2023, he sued Bob Woodward, the journalist, and Simon & Schuster. That was about them using audio from interviews he did as president in an audiobook. He said it violated his copyright, his privacy.
Right. And that case is pretty relevant in context here. It was dismissed. The federal judge threw it out, specifically citing First Amendment protections and fair use. And that wasn't really a surprise. It shows how courts generally handle these things. Yeah. Public figures suing news outlets. It's tough. Courts have historically leaned pretty heavily against siding with public figures in defamation cases, especially when it's about news reporting on matters of public interest. It's a major hurdle for this current lawsuit against the Journal.
So even for someone that high profile, those First Amendment shields are really strong. Makes you think how hard it must be generally to win a case like that. But okay, stepping back from the legal battles for a second, what do we actually know from the public record about Trump and Epstein's history?
That's a really important distinction to make, yeah. Trump has publicly said he knew Epstein, and we should remember lots of other powerful people knew him too. Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew. The list was quite long.
And there are photos, right? Trump and Epstein together, mostly back in the 90s, early 2000s, often at Mar-a-Lago.
Yes, those photos exist. But, and this is the crucial part, Trump has always consistently denied any involvement in Epstein's criminal side. He insists he banned Epstein from his properties years ago, specifically saying it was after he learned about some inappropriate conduct. And critically, no charges, no formal allegations have ever been brought against Trump connected to Epstein's crimes. That line between knowing someone socially and being involved in their crimes is, well, it's key here.
It really feels like this lawsuit, then it's maybe less about the strict legal definition of defamation and more about playing into a larger narrative for him
Hmm.
politically. I mean, how much does the legal argument actually matter if the main goal might be shaping public perception, especially now in an election cycle?
That's probably the crux of it, isn't it? The legal case has to stand on its own in court, sure. But for Trump, it feels like it serves, well, maybe a dual purpose. So on one side, you have critics saying this is just an attempt to, chill journalism, to
Mhm.
intimidate news outlets so they back off stories that don't look good for them. A tactic, basically.
Right, to stop negative reporting.
Yeah. But then, on the other side, his supporters see it totally differently. For them, it's a necessary fight against what they genuinely see as media bias, as character assassination. It feeds directly into his whole narrative, the fake news claims, the idea he's unfairly targeted by, you know, liberal elites, the deep state, all of that. So this case, especially with the 2024 election heating up, it's as much a political statement, maybe, as it is a legal filing. The real insight might be seeing the courtroom as just another arena for his broader political campaign.
Wow. We've really peeled back quite a few layers on this today. It's kind of remarkable how one lawsuit can spiderweb out, connecting to legal history, a federal investigation, and just the supercharged politics of an election year.
It really does. This whole situation, it just highlights that complex dance,
Yeah.
between legal moves, media reporting, political strategy, especially with figures this prominent. It's a fascinating case study in how those forces interact and shape things.
So, as you're thinking about all this, here's something maybe provocative to chew on. In this age where we're just flooded with information and everything feels so polarized politically, what does this specific lawsuit and everything swirling around it, what does it reveal about the challenge you face trying to sort out objective fact from, well, strategic spin? And how does understanding this whole interplay maybe influence how you see public figures, major events, what really stands out to you about how all these forces shape our view of reality?